Known as the king of rock and roll, a star on the stage, Elvis Presley never failed to entertain. Behind the scenes, the king had many loves in his life. His daughter, Lisa Marie, Graceland, his friends and fans, his cars, his peanut butter and banana sandwiches, just to name a few. But Elvis couldn't help falling in love with somebody else, a former beauty queen named Ginger Alden. As a matter of fact, Ginger was Elvis's fiancée and last great love. And we are happy to have Ginger with us on Delmarva Life this afternoon, just days after releasing a tell-all memoir about her time spent with Elvis called Elvis and Ginger. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So take us back to that moment when Elvis swept a 20-year-old Ginger off her feet.
Well, I met him on November 19th, 1976, and he actually was interested in meeting my sister, who was Miss Tennessee of that year. And my other sister, Rosemary, and I accompanied her that evening, and we just thought we were going to get a peek inside Graceland and finally just a peek at Elvis in person and all go home. And it turned into something quite different that night. My
goodness, so 2 months after that, you were engaged?
Yes, we were. I was sitting in Lisa's bedroom, and Elvis and I were talking a little bit. He went in another room, made a phone call, came back and took my hand, walked me through into his bathroom, which was his sanctuary,
right, and
had me sit in a chair and got down on bended knee, said many, many beautiful things to me, and then opened a green velvet box, and I was stunned. It had a beautiful, beautiful engagement ring inside of it.
Oh my goodness. So I understand there's a story behind the ring.
Yes, the stone, I later found out, was taken. Elvis had a custom ring that he always wore on stage. It was a huge onyx ring with a diamond and a lightning bolt.
Yeah.
And he had the center diamond taken from that ring and placed in my engagement ring.
Oh my goodness. That's incredible. Tell us
Very
more.
special.
Tell us more about the king himself.
You know, a big purpose in writing my book, I thought there was a wrong portrayal of Elvis in his last 9 months when we were together, and he was a beautiful man, a special part of my life, but there were a lot of untruths that he was unhappy, and you know, he stayed upstairs a lot, but that was his sanctuary. He had everything upstairs in his home. He had his organ, he had Lisa's room, he had a refrigerator. It was like being in an apartment almost. His grandmother, his aunt lived downstairs.
Right.
But Elvis was not a depressed man his last year, and he gave his all. He loved his fans and just lived for performing.
So is it true that he really lived kind of a nocturnal life?
Yes, he did, and that was different for me. I got used to it very quickly, but yes, he slept more during the day and was up most of the night. He told me writers and artists think better when they're up at night.
Right. So I understand that there was a point that Elvis thought he could heal people. Was that true?
Yes, he did. And I felt there was some mystical thing about Elvis when we were together. He performed a healing on me, and he opened my eyes to many things spiritually, and I thought maybe we all possess a little self-healing if we focus and, you know, concentrate and understand how to do this.
Right.
But it was an amazing, amazing time.
So we know that he had a great love for Lisa Marie. Did you guys ever talk about kids?
Yes, yes. Elvis wanted, especially a son. We wanted to have children. We talked about having children, and he was looking forward to so many things. And he was a wonderful dad. He loved his daughter. Just his face lit up whenever she could be with him on tour and at Graceland. Right.
Take us back to that August in 1977 when you found him.
It was an extremely devastating day. He started out wonderful. He thought a piece of his tooth had broken off.
Yeah.
We made a quick trip to the dentist the night before. When we came back, we went upstairs to his daughter Lisa's room, and we actually set a wedding date. Elvis brought up the wedding, told me he'd been thinking a lot about getting married lately, went into all kinds of detail about our wedding. A little while after that, he talked a little business, then we briefly played a little racquetball.
Mm-hmm.
He was in good spirits. We were starting a tour. And not long after that, we came back, we read upstairs for a brief moment. Elvis was having a problem sleeping and stood up to go into his bathroom, and that was the last time I saw him alive.
All right. Ginger Alden, the last true love of Elvis Presley. Thank you so much for your time this afternoon. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
My goodness. And Ginger went on to say that she held off on writing this book until now because she wanted to wait until her son was grown. So if you'd like to know more about Elvis and Ginger, all you have to do is go to WBOC.com and click on our picture at the top of the page. Now we know one thing Elvis loved was his food. If he was around today, he'd probably love what we're making in the kitchen. Seitan beef with mashed potatoes and seared vegetables. That's coming up next. A little later on, art you have to see to believe. A skateboard. You're going to see how the artist behind it comes up with very unique creations. Delmarva Live. We'll be right back.